Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco. Brought to you by A#1 Air, the official HVAC and electric partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. The National Medal of Honor Museum. Join the mission at mohmuseum.org. Buffalo Wild Wings. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit swbc.com. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton and Kevin Gray.
Welcome to Week 6 of the National Football League. It is Cowboys Crosstalk presented by SWBC. Kevin Gray of 105 through the fan. Joined as always by my partner, 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champion, member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame. He is, of course, Nate Newton. Nate, what's going on?
I'm loving it, man. I got the cure to the Cowboys. I
can't wait for that.
Cowboys.
He said he got the cure
Yes,
to the
sir.
Cowboys. Well, we're going to get into that over the next hour. Joining us this week from 105 through the fan, Super Bowl winning scout, former NFL executive, Brian Broaddus of the G-Bag Nation joining us this week. Brian, what's going on? Good to see you.
Doing well. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I was coming in hot, but
you're right on time.
I tell you what, man, I've never, all you need to do is let me sit down, get a glass of water, and I'm good to go.
Well, I heard he may not come when you wanted to, but he comes right on time, and that's what you were tonight.
Yeah.
Joining us tonight, our Cowboys legend, former Winston-Salem State HBCU graduate, 9-year NFL veteran, all of course with the Dallas Cowboys, 19 career touchdowns. Timmy Newsome joining us this week on Cowboys Crosstalk.
How
Timmy,
you
what's
doing?
going
Thank
on, man?
You, sir. Thank
also
you.
a member of the
well.
Black College Hall of Fame.
That's
Yes.
right. Also a member of the Black College.
He's my brother.
So we got two members of the Black College Football
right.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. So we'll get into some of that throughout the course of the show as well.
Right.
Of course, we got to get you ready for week number 6 of the NFL as the Cowboys take on Kellen Moore and the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football. So that extra day of preparation the Cowboys do get before they head to Los Angeles. But before we get there, gentlemen, let's unfortunately take a look back at what happened on Sunday Night Football and what was the most anticipated game, I think, of the NFL schedule up to that point when the Cowboys took on the San Francisco 49ers. Nate, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, a very disappointing 42-10 loss on the road. What was your takeaway as you've had a chance to kind of digest the film, take a look at some of the breakdown of what happened in that game that you took away from what happened on Sunday night?
They're force. They are a force. They are very, very physical. We did not win our one-on-one battles. When you have a game of this nature, it's a team thing. It's 11-on-11, offense, defense, versus offense, defense, special teams, punt team. But what I saw was a lot of guys that I expected to win personal battles didn't do that. I mean, on our offensive line, I saw they dominated us there. Our defensive line, they dominated us there. Now, the outside positions cannot flourish if these two things. We lost in the trenches, and a lot of it was one-on-one battles. It wasn't a whole lot of scheming here. It was like, I'm going to beat you as a man. I mean, not man, but as a football player. That's what I saw.
Brian, what did the All-22 tell you as you did your evaluation of what this game looked like, especially on the defensive side of the football?
Yeah, I felt like, though, going into this game that Dallas was better equipped to handle what San Francisco was potentially going to give you in the front seven. If you look at Tyler Smith at left guard and then Zach Martin at right guard, they didn't really win the middle there. That was a problem what they were going to have to deal with. You're going to have to find a way to get Fred Warner blocked. They really didn't find a way to get that done. Greenlaw was in effect there as well, the way he played. I was surprising, guys, was how well San Francisco, they're traditionally a team that plays a lot of zone coverage. And so what happened is they challenged the Dallas receivers that you can't win on the outside. So, and I think it was a surprise to Brian Schottenheimer and to Mike McCarthy, the play caller, that they got as much man coverage on the outside as they did.
And Schottenheimer said as much earlier this week.
And give Ward and Lenore a lot of credit. The safety, Hufanga, playing down in the box, the way that they were able to play deep with Gibson. Just really nothing going on for the Cowboys. Balls thrown short of the sticks, not getting first downs. Dallas only having 8 first downs in that game. And so defensively, I think that the 49ers did a great job of just beating you up, bullying you. but also those scheming you in a way to kind of take you out of your game and not allow you to drive the ball like you want to now.
Timmy, what did you see from that game on Sunday night from the Cowboys and 49ers?
Well, I saw a lack of intensity. They just weren't intense enough to do the things that they needed to do to be successful. And so for a game of that magnitude to come out flat was really surprising.
And when you look at that game itself, and they, based off of what you saw, and Brian, you talked about it, these San Francisco corners challenging these wide receivers. Not a lot of separation for Dak Prescott to be able to get the football to these guys. Does that concern you moving forward, knowing how much press that they were able to play, knock the guys off the line of scrimmage, and what happened
there?
Well,
when you look at the Chargers, the matchup this week, I've already sat down and looked at them this morning, and the thing that, they'll come out and they'll play, if you're a metrics, if you're one of these people that believe in numbers, or it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how people play. 70% zone, 30% man. Mm-hmm. If I'm watching the tape of the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm sitting there with Asante Samuel Jr., the cornerback, I'm going to line up and say, okay, it's not about traveling with, it's just about, hey, can you get off man coverage? And if you're going to play a lot of zone and you're comfortable doing that, and the Chargers are a team that will rush 4. But when they do blitz, they'll bring pressure and they're effective doing it, but they're going to try and get home with 4. San Francisco did the same thing. I'm going to challenge Dallas's receivers. If you're going to sit there and dink and dunk the ball down the field, and there were some air yards that they threw in that game to try, but there was no separation down the field. We saw how the routes kind of developed, and if I'm the Chargers, I'm going to challenge you to see if you can win off the line of scrimmage.
Nate, what are you trying to do offensively to adjust based off what you saw on Sunday night, knowing that guys like Joey Bosa and others are going to be trying to get after the quarterback on Monday night?
Just first, if I look at paper, and if I was a paper guy, which none of us are, we look at it, you're facing a team that I think that on paper, the Chargers are talented, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On paper. Mm-hmm. Now, they haven't played up to their potential. Sure. We know, Timmy, performance is what counts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They have potentially the ability to play us the way the 49ers played us. They have that potential on defense. So what I'm going to do is, like Timmy said, I'm going to challenge my players to pick up your intensity, study a little bit more film, and on the outside, just mix it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the offensive line have to give you time.
Sure.
It's some intermediate routes that we haven't taken advantage of. Everything's been quick. Everybody talking about going longer. It's still a 10 to 15-yard range in there that you can take advantage of. Now, I heard Brothers talk on the flagship station about this Murphy kid. Is I got it right? Murray kid.
Yeah, Murray. Yeah, the linebacker from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. You facing another Ward. Yeah. Just ain't been spoken on. But, Timmy, how you rocking with it? How you looking at it? How would you attack it?
Initially, I think they need to figure out a way to have some confidence throws.
Yeah. Yes.
Get the confidence up to the wide receivers, get the confidence up to the quarterback, so you can have some positive yards, get them in that third and short situation. Yes. So it gives them the knowledge of knowing that they can move the football. And once you do that, you can open it up a little bit more. Defensively, they've got to get to the quarterback. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Mm-hmm. Whenever you have a team of that talent, then you've got to be able to put pressure on the quarterback.
Timmy, let me stay with you on this because I want to ask you this. Obviously, a blowout loss, losing by 32 on Sunday night. Is it easier to come off of a blowout loss and kind of flush that tape down the toilet, or is it tougher to come back from a close loss given the fact that you were knowing what you did and what you couldn't do in that loss? Which one is it a little more easier to kind of come back from in that way?
I think it depends on the perspective of the coaching. How do you tell your players to forget about it? What do you do to say, okay, let's evaluate and move on? Mm-hmm. And the quicker you can move on, the better off you're going to be. Yeah. Coach Landry, for example, there was instances where we're not going to watch this tape. We're just not going to watch it. Big blowout. Let's move forward. Let's do the things that we know we can do well and just move forward.
Yeah. Nate, how did Jimmy Johnson approach that from a player standpoint?
It just, like he said, it depends on how you build this game up, and we build it to the point where it was a Super Bowl.
See, that's the problem right there.
Yeah, and so, but I think Coach Johnson would have handled it much like Coach Landry. He would have had us ready to go. Let me say this quickly. Where this thing got out of control.
Did you ever say anything quickly?
Yeah, I'm finna get this. We got out of control I thought the players should have took leadership of this game, and so the coaches just could have washed it away. Hey, we understand, but everybody got too far involved.
Yeah.
Forgetting about it was 12 more games, and that's what happened. They got too far involved, and they were playing right intensity.
Yeah, I really like what Timmy was saying about how to go about it. Coach Landry was completely different, but they weren't in many blowout games.
That's right.
Neither was this man. I grew up watching them play football.
That's right.
They were in a lot of games where they were blowing out, making everybody else not watch the tape. This team was a lot different that way, too. The thing about it is, and this is where Nate's right, though, there was so much talk going into the season about the San Francisco game. The fact that you'd gone, you lost to them twice in the playoffs. Both games were close. Offense didn't play particularly well. Hey, your play caller gets let go. Now it's a whole new head coach calling, and everything is kind of put into this game as a measuring stick game.
Yes.
Both teams, Dallas had a terrible loss in Arizona. So now you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, is Dallas ready to play this game? And obviously they weren't. The physicality that which the 49ers played with, Dallas wasn't ready for. And that in itself, how do you find a way to bounce back? The tape part you can watch and learn. McCarthy told us the other day, I'm not a flush guy. I'm not a flush guy when it comes to that tape. So they're going to go try and learn something from it. Well, Mike, you can learn that your team wasn't as physical as the team that was wearing the red and the gold the other night.
Yeah.
That's the team that you strive to be like, where the offense is humming, the defense isn't letting you run the ball, and they're not letting you complete any passes.
Sure.
That's the team, that's how you need to get your team ready.
I would probably lose a couple of 4th round, 5th round picks. I probably would.
Don't keep giving my picks away, man.
I would say
I need these picks.
Scott's not trying to hear that. Executive not trying to hear that.
Constant trouble because we're going to have to practice.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to practice.
No, he's willing to practice. We've
no,
seen this. Oh, you're talking
Physical.
about it in another way. Okay.
We got to practice.
All right. All right.
So I would be losing draft.
He said he's
picks.
ready to collect that fine from the National Football League.
Because
that's what you're trying to do.
What you're asking,
what you're
asking is, if you're asking these guys, you can't see one thing about physical. Yes, it's part of the mind, but physical is something you have to do.
Well, what bothers me, and Nate could address this the best, is that the 5 offensive linemen for the Cowboys, it was the group that we'd been waiting for months to finally play together.
Yep, that's right.
And then if you watch the tape, everybody had a moment where they just weren't very good. And maybe it is a little bit about continuity and getting it together and being able to practice and do all those things. But, man, they have got to clean up, the issues that they were dealing with, and not being able to win those battles like Nate was talking about initially.
Timmy, before we go to break, I want to ask you this. So how does a player move forward from that type of a football game? What's the mentality and the mindset going into practice that week to ensure that what happened on Sunday night does not happen again, regardless of what the outcome looks like?
Each individual player has to look at themselves and do a self-analysis as to what they need to do to be better the next game. And if they do that and not depend on the other guy and look at it as something they need to fix for themselves, then they'll be fine.
We're going to see if this team can fix those mistakes that they had on Sunday night. Obviously, a big game against the Los Angeles Chargers coming up on Monday Night Football. Unfortunately, the Cowboys fall 42-10 to the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully, they see them down the road, and the outcome may be a little bit different. They've got a long road to get there, and we'll find that out starting on Monday night. It is Cowboys Crosstalk presented by SWBC. Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan. Nate Newton, Brian Broaddus, our Cowboys legend. Timmy Newsome. Let's thank SWBC. At SWBC, customized solutions for individuals and businesses are just a click away. Visit SWBC.com to learn more and start your next adventure. Coming up next on the other side of this break, live at the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco. Let's start to look forward now to the Cowboys taking on the Chargers. How did the Cowboys attack Kellen Moore's offense with this defense? We'll dive into that next on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Back on Cowboys Crosstalk, presented by SWBC, live on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan. Nate Newton, three-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl winning scout Brian Bryson, our Cowboys legend this week. Timmy Newsome joining us live at the Cowboys Club. SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we help find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. Let's turn our attention, gentlemen, to Monday night. Cowboys Chargers on Monday Night Football. Shout out to Troy Aikman. He's going to be on the call with Joe Buck on
Troy,
Monday
what's
night.
up, baby?
I'm about to say, that's your boy. I know that's your boy. You're going to be looking forward to that broadcast there. Hopefully looking forward to better football as well from the Dallas Cowboys. Nate, I'm going to start with you because offensively, we're going to be looking at a Chargers offense that's returning Austin Eckler. He's been dealing with injury. He's going to be ready to play on Monday night. Obviously, they've got guys like Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, talented wide receiver, of course, for them. What does Kellen Moore's offense present to Dan Quinn's defense that maybe we haven't seen yet that maybe we need to maybe pay attention to going into Monday night?
Variety. When I think of Kellen Moore, his offense is variety. He has a mind that if he sees a play, he can match it to a defense. Now, he ain't trying to set up nothing. And I don't know if he learned yet the situation of football. That is why he's not here, or maybe he wanted to leave. I don't know the situation behind that. But he is a guy that's going to give you a variety of plays. He's going to get the ball to his star. He's going to get it to Keenan. He's going to get it to Everett, the tight end. He's going to get it to my boy Austin Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's going to be in a variety of ways. You don't really know what you're going to see. And, Brian, you may have delved into that. And you probably can put some theory behind who this guy is.
Yeah, I think what you're going to get with Kellen Moore is he's going to study the games that they've played so far this season. He's going to look at what Arizona did to the Cowboys defensively. Right. He's going to look to see San Francisco. He's got some things that he has personnel-wise with the receivers, the back, the quarterback. I think, to me, you're looking at a guy that throws the ball at about a 70% clip, maybe a little bit better than that. Ball goes down the field. I mean, he's got receivers that have size to him, and he's got a runner that he could throw the ball to. I mean, we'll see how much he does with that. But handing it to him, he's going to find ways to test this Dallas front. And the problem the Cowboys are running into this week with this type of attack, especially with Eckler, is what's going to happen at the linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
With no Leighton Vander Esch there, how are the Cowboys going to match? Does it mean move Micah Parsons back? Okay, that helps Kellen Moore right there, because all of a sudden Micah Parsons goes from being an edge to all of a sudden being an off-ball linebacker. And now it's like, okay, well, those offensive tackles at the Chargers are like, whoa.
And breathe a sigh of relief a little bit.
Maybe not every snap I'm going to have to deal with this guy. So how Dan Quinn becomes very creative with what he does, he's going to have to find a way to match up. I mean, there were some routes. San Francisco ran routes where they had separation at crossing routes, or all kinds of things that the Cowboys just did not pick up. KG, you and I were talking about, the touchdown to Kittle.
The first one,
Yeah, when you get, basically a rookie linebacker drops, he's looking for a crosser, and he doesn't see the crosser, but he's looking, and now the Kittle's behind him, and now it's onto the safety. Well, here you go. Those are the kinds of things. Dallas has given up, they've given up big plays, a 69-yard pass, losing coverage, losing guys. So Kellen Moore is going to challenge them with his scheme and see if Dallas will play with eye discipline and then also play with discipline on the back end and not drop routes.
Timmy, what do you want to see from this Cowboys offense that you didn't see on Sunday night that's got to be better against Los Angeles on Monday night?
Well, I think the thing that's going to be important is to give them a different look that they haven't seen. And so if it means, taking the running back and doing some things with him, putting him out in the flats, giving him some quick things that he can do.
Talking about Tony Pollard, for sure.
Tony Pollard. I think that would be a very good benefit to the Cowboys. Maybe they need to get the wide receivers a little bit more of a crossing route strategy in there that would, mitigate, that bump and run strategy that San Francisco was so effective on.
Yeah.
You've got to put those guys across. Now you've got to get the offensive line and say, look, guys, you're going to have to give me time to run these crossing routes.
Sure.
If they can do that, cohesively, then they have a chance.
Yeah, this is where Timmy's absolutely right, because the Cowboys, metrics, if you look at every week, they've gotten less and less when it comes to motion, pre-snap motion. Well, that's everybody all talks about now is the ability. Look what the 49ers do. It's two guys in motion. It's one guy's in motion. They motion across to get to things. With the Cowboys, maybe it's not so much. Maybe Mike McCarthy plays a little bit more stationary. But the one play they scored on, the best play they had, was bringing Turpin in motion and ran him out of a bunch. So all of a sudden you're playing bunch formation, and now you scatter out of that. Now if you're playing man against that, you got the crossers, you got the picks, you got the wheel routes, you got things you could do. And this is what we saw in training camp, Nate. That they were a lot more bunch, they were a lot more scatter, they were a lot more the wheels. They were trying to do things, the picks, to kind of get things, get things going offensively, like Timmy was talking about. You can't sit there and just let people take you man for man the whole day,
and beat you all day.
But the one big play they had, bring Turpin in motion, out of the bunch, boom, run him up the field. It's a separation, it's a touchdown, and here we go.
Nate, is this offense of Mike McCarthy through 5 weeks that you've watched? Is it helped or hindered Dak Prescott in terms of some of the things that, from a skill set standpoint, we know that he can do versus some of the things that McCarthy may want him to do within this offense?
He just put the bullseye right on you.
I want to say it in the correct way, but the only way I can say it is how I know how to say it. Dak's got to free himself.
Okay.
Dak knows how to play football. Dak came in as a rookie knowing how to play football. I'm going to say it, and people can dislike it. I don't care. Dak is a football player that can throw the ball well. He is a football player that came in, had to work on his accuracy. All of a sudden, he gets a major injury, and he stopped being that guy. We saw Fred Warner a mesh route, stop the mesh route, then come and sack Dak.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, Dak with a pump and just took off. You know what?
Yeah.
And people, well, he's not the same guy. No, he's not the same guy because he's lost 20 pounds and he's 20 pounds lighter. So that means I ain't asking him to be a Michael Jordan. I'm just asking you to go forward, to take positive yards, to take some of that pressure off your offensive line like you used to do. Just be a football player. I don't care what coach call. If a play breaks down, go get the yardage. If you can't get it out in 2 seconds, well, the next second you're running. I'm just asking you to be the football player. That's all I'm asking.
Are you noticing any hesitation from Dak Prescott in terms of the game that he's playing right now, trying to adjust to this Texas Coast offense, if you will, when it comes to Mike McCarthy?
What's surprising to me is that he's willing to take sacks. And you've got to be able to buy yourself some time, especially in this the rule changes. He releases that ball just as they're getting ready to hit him. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
So he's got to be understanding of the situation well enough to know that, okay, I'm going to buy myself as much time as I need. I'm either going to run it or I'm going to throw it away.
Sure.
But you don't want to take a sack.
Can I answer the question?
Yeah, sure.
It's absolutely hindering the way Dak Prescott plays.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe with Nate, and Nate, this is always the thought I always have about Dak Prescott. When Dak is muddied and bloodied, I think he's a better football player.
He is.
I think when you look down and he's got a little bit of grass stain on him and a little bit of a, he's
playing without thinking.
It gets him into the flow of the game.
Sure,
now you don't want grass stains on his back. That's a bad idea.
That means he's getting hit pretty good.
If anything on the front
That's
is
right.
okay. We're playing the game. But the thing about it is, there's a side of me that wonders. There was such a focus on sit down and let's look at all these interceptions. Let's sit down and study them, Dak. We'll look at them all. And they come up with the ideas like, well, man, every time you throw the ball down the middle of the field, it seems it gets picked off. Well, there was a lot of tips. There was a lot of routes that weren't finished. There were a lot of things going on there. So all of a sudden, it's like you sit there and you go, okay, how do we keep him from making mistakes? You can't do that with this guy. There's a side of me that, like, I could hear. I mean, the interceptions that bother me with Dak are the ones where he doesn't see the guy, where he doesn't see the linebacker, the drop linebacker, or he doesn't see the guy like in the Arizona game that Wilson, because drops right there.
Yeah.
Because White.
Yeah, because you're white. That's right.
Because you're white.
Yep.
He doesn't see him in the middle of the field. Those are the interceptions that bother me. But when you start to say, throw it here, throw it here, throw it here, it's just okay, we're going to do this, but let's run routes. Let's run slants that let's get separation. Let's get open. I think there's some restrictiveness that's going on with him right now. I think Mike wants to call the game a certain way, and Dak wants to play the game a certain way.
Sure.
And maybe right now through 5 games, it just ain't where it needs to be.
If I am a quarterback that's been in the league for 8 years, I should have some type of ability to say, Coach, this is what I like.
Yeah.
Coach, this is what is happening to me. Help me find a way through this.
Take some ownership of the offense,
Yeah. I believe you said it. He said it. It's still coming down to Dak being a football player.
Sure.
Once he frees himself, because at the end of the day, we're going to either look at Dak and say he either did the job or he didn't do the job. What if McCarthy gone? What if this thing persists next year, the year after? You know what? Sooner or later, Dak going to have to say, you know what, this is still coming down to me. We've had 2 coaches, a head coach change. We've had 2 offensive coordinators change, and it's still coming down to Dak.
Running back coach, line coach.
Thank you. Free yourself, Dak.
Yeah.
Go back and look at your rookie film and see what you were. You were an instinctive football player. And bring back the run-pass option.
Ooh,
Don't fake it.
Is that creativity I hear from you, Nathan? Is that
what
what I hear a little bit?
Every quarterback. Go look at this quarterback. This is Broadus' quarterback. This guy we finna play this week is Broadus, what Broadus loves, 6'4", 230 pounds, rocket on. Why is this kid running the football?
Yeah.
Why is he running? He's a pocket passer. He got the ability to do it. But why is he running the football? Today's NFL dictates that your quarterback take off and run.
Yeah.
It is Cowboys Crosstalk presented by SWBC. Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan. Nate Newton, our Super Bowl winning scout. Brian Broaddus, Timmy Newsome, our Cowboys legend, joining us this week as we get you ready for Cowboys Chargers on Monday Night Football. Coming up next on the other side of the break, how does this Cowboys defense get better against this run game of the Los Angeles Chargers and that aforementioned quarterback, Justin Herbert? We'll discuss all that next on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Broadus quarterback.
Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Back on Cowboys Crosstalk, presented by SWBC. SWBC PEO, helping to alleviate the HR administrative burden that comes with running a business. Leave the worrying to us. Visit SWBCPEO.com to find out more. Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan, three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton, Super Bowl winning scout, and former NFL executive Brian Broaddus of the G-Bag Nation, and our Cowboys legend Timmy Newsome joining us this week live at the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Man, I could have been the three-time Super Bowl champ. We had to deal with this guy for three. One time they let us win it in Green Bay. Those other times they were like, "Hey, listen, we're going to block Reggie White, Sean Jones, Gilbert Brown." Yeah.
You have no Super Bowl.
I have no Super Bowl rings.
Wow, I thought you
We
had
went to three straight NFC title games
title
and lost
games.
all three.
That's
Yeah.
That's where the Rangers at. They're in the NFC title game.
Shout out to the Texas Rangers in the
NFC
American League
title game, yeah.
The American League Championship Series, ALCS.
NFC Championship.
We're gonna get you acronyms right, Nate.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
NFC
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after the show.
That's the only way I can look at.
AFC, NFC. That's all way you can look at it. Well, then it would be the AFC, the equivalent. There you go.
Then
I got you.
Championship.
I got you, Nate. Don't worry about it. I got you, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk Chargers, Cowboys though on Monday Night Football. Let's talk about this Cowboys defense. Gave up 222 yards on the ground to the Arizona Cardinals. Gave up another $170 on Sunday night to Christian McCaffrey, who I thought they bottled up for the most part in terms of the running game, but other guys like Mason and others were able to get loose, give up 170 yards on the ground to San Francisco. Nate, I want to start with you because obviously linebacker is a little bit depleted right now. The Cowboys looks like are on the verge of signing Rashaan Evans. That signing not official as of yet, pending a physical, according to Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News. Are you of the mind and of the opinion maybe we see Micah Parsons a little bit more off ball to maybe help out that linebacker room? And what does that do then for guys like Sam Williams, Dorrance Armstrong, and others to maybe have some opportunities opposite DeMarcus Lawrence for this team?
Let me say this right here. The better the team, the less yards they have to run and still be effective. What I mean by that is I've said every time we play a contending team, they don't need but 120, 25, 30 yards rushing. Anything over that, it's automatic win for them. I don't know where these Chargers are at, and I understand that the question was asked about Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons will be ineffective if Jonathan Hankins, Gallimore, Osa, and the guy that they drafted the guy that they drafted in the first round from Michigan. Mm-hmm. If these guys are ineffective, you will see Michael Parsons going off. Okay? Because it's going to take him a series of two to get his mind back in that linebacker mode.
Sure.
Unless they're going to be run blitzing him the whole game and pass blitzing him the whole game. If he has to sit there and read, it's going to come down to what those guys up front are doing. Mm-hmm. And Brian, tell me if I'm wrong.
Is he wrong, Brian?
No. I mean, it's to me, this is where the Cowboys tend to have the biggest problems with their run defense is that in the middle, teams have problems running. Inside, it's when it goes off the edge.
Sure.
And they really try and stay away from Tank Lawrence's side as he plays the left end. Mm-hmm. Most NFL teams are right-handed unless you're the Dolphins, whose Tua's left-handed, so they play the other way.
Sure.
So when you look at teams in the running game and how they'll play, it's the same. The Chargers are the same way. 3.1 yards inside, 5.4 yards on the outside. But Nate's right. How well you play up front and the discipline, the gap discipline. The problem the Cowboys had, if you watch it, you want to watch a play that just this is what happened in the San Francisco game. Watch the toss sweep that went for a touchdown. And watch how that was blocked.
Sure.
And watch how Micah Parsons got hooked. Van Der Esch, he gets injured on the play. What happens with him.
Yep.
And, and all that. To me, you get a guy that gets kicked. You get a safety that takes a bad angle. Everything that you could have done wrong to play run defense was that play.
Sure.
But then everything if you're San Francisco, everything you did, you want to see it's right. is exactly what they did. And the Cowboys have got to do a better job of getting off blocks. And I know it sounds really simple to say, but when you're running to the ball and they want to get there, they want to get upfield. I mean, they got guys like Oso Odighizuwa that gets up the field. Lawrence gets up the field. Sam Williams gets up the field.
Sure.
You got to be careful sometimes with this. That's what Austin Eckler will do to you in this game. I mean, they'll hand him the ball. He's a short, shifty guy, and all of a sudden he's boom, 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 and he's through into the hole, and now he's in the second. Now we got guys, in the back end trying to tackle.
Sure.
And that's been a little bit of a problem. It was a problem in the Arizona game, and it was surely a problem in the San Francisco game.
Our team is built to
rush.
So we're built to have leads.
Leads.
Yeah.
That's exactly
we're
right.
built to have leads. Just it's the old Colts theory. The old Colts with Peyton. That's how we built him.
Yeah. Timmy, as a running back, what are you looking at and what are you seeing from that Cowboys run defense? And if you're Austin Eckler and Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, that you want to exploit based on what Arizona was able to do, what San Francisco was able to do, what would you do if you're looking at that offensive line for yourself going up against that defensive line of the Cowboys?
Well, as a running back, I'd love to see defenses give me 1 or 2 yards to start.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if they give me 1 or 2 yards to start, I'm in business because now I'm at that second level.
Yeah.
Right.
And the way that the Cowboys are going to have to, defend the run is to keep that second level from happening in the first place.
Yeah.
And they've got to plug those holes, and they've got to be aggressive enough to where that running back wants to alter the point of attack.
Sure.
Right now, they're not altering the point of attack.
Yeah.
From a vision standpoint, what does that mean to you when you're
Can
looking
I
at
say something real quick?
Yeah.
And I love what Timmy's saying about that. But let me tell you, the best thing that could help the Dallas defense, run defense, is Dallas offense score a bunch of points.
Sure.
Because that takes, and not that the Chargers can score points too.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a quarterback; they're capable of doing that. But look what's happened when the Cowboys have been able to establish a lead, like Nate's talking about. That takes that team out of that ability to run the football, and then it turns into, let's get those pass rushers up the field.
Yeah.
And let's get after it. The Cowboys, 45% of the time, they pass rush, the pressure plays.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, that's what it's really going to take. But if you're going to play even or behind, teams will just try to keep run the football.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
And from a running back standpoint, Tim, what does that look like from a vision standpoint when you're seeing that 1 or 2 yards of daylight and then what that means for natural cutback lanes, those types of – what are you seeing from a vision standpoint when things are going well in the run game, which made the Cowboys have to defend against Austin Eckler in that way?
Well, if it's 1st and 10 and you run the football now, it's 2nd and 4.
Yeah.
You're putting constant pressure on the defense to do something differently that they don't feel comfortable doing.
Sure.
So Dallas has got to get them into these 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9 situations. Now it's a different dynamic. Now they're going to probably pass the football because they're not going to try to run the football again and put them at a disadvantage. So you're trying to keep them out of those positive yards as much as possible so now that you can let those linebackers and cornerbacks take over.
It's funny. When Timmy was saying that, I was thinking about Kellen Moore, how many times it's a 2nd and 10 and he would run the ball.
Yeah.
He's like one of these guys that you're going to get in a nickel defense. Okay, I'm just going to run the ball and try and make it 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
He's trying to just kind of take it. So there were some times Kellen's one of those coordinators that runs when he should pass and pass when he should run.
Sure.
And that's kind of I'm sure Dan Quinn's thinking the same thing. Like, okay, it's 2nd and 10. He's going to hand the ball off here and try and get 6-7 yards on just because he's going to try and take advantage of you playing in a light box.
Sure. And Nate, speaking of that offensive line for the Chargers, one of the better left tackles in all of football, Rashawn Slater, going to be on that side for Los Angeles. How are you looking at this Cowboys defensive line attacking that offensive line and what you would want to see from the way that the defense goes after them?
I would like for Sam – it's a mismatch. I'd like for Sam Williams to play a lot there, either Armstrong to play a lot there. And if
maybe even Fowler, too.
Fowler. And then if you're going to our other 2 better pass rushers, Parsons and D-Law, let them pick spots other than that.
Sure.
See, I was totally against last week when everybody said, man, when Parsons gets on 71. I told everybody, you might as well drop him back in coverage. Now,
Trent Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you.
Who is the best left tackle in football
I'm gonna give you your just due, but I don't believe. And what Coach Johnson taught me this, and Coach Landry taught me this. I'm not gonna run into no brick wall. I'm not gonna do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not when I have a all-star player. And once Trent got on him early, because they showed it right on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, Trent was right there stopping him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he just started hitting my boy in the mouth.
Were you surprised that they didn't line Micah Parsons up more over their right tackle versus
McKivitz?
Yeah.
Yeah, McKivitz. See, that's the whole thing when you're watching San Francisco play.
Thank you.
Every team, Buford the guard, McKivitz the tackle, they give them helmet stickers or game balls because every other team they've played this year, they've had to move tight ends across
Thank you.
to pick up. Dallas did. I mean, they couldn't get anything going off that side.
Sure.
So that's one of those things you go. And then when you're right, when you move Micah over to Trent Williams' side, you're saying, okay, well, we're just going to give up this rush.
Yeah.
Because what your stat was, and I don't know who put it, but when they ran sweeps to the left side, they gained almost 2 more yards.
Yeah.
Going behind Trent. I ain't no way in the world I'm going to put I'll put D-Law over there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I'm like, why would you put Parsons over there? So you know what? We talking about the –
Go ahead, Timmy. Go ahead.
Man, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think is important is to try to figure out a way to be aggressive, take some risk, calculated risk,
Sure. Yes.
to mitigate the offensive pressure that's already going to be placed on you because of some limitations that you're going to have.
Let's take our final break here on Cowboys Crosstalk presented by SWBC. Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan, 3-time Super Bowl champion Nathan, Super Bowl winning scout Brian brought us. Our Cowboys legend Timmy Newsome joining us live at the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco. When we come back, let's catch up with our Cowboys legend and fellow member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame, Timmy Newsome. We'll do that next on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Final time here on Cowboys Crosstalk, presented by SWBC, live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco. Let's thank our final partner of the evening, Liberty Tax. Liberty Tax is a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Schedule an appointment today at libertytax.com/Cowboys. One final time, Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan, 3-time Super Bowl champion, member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame, 6-time Pro Bowler Nate Newton, Super Bowl winning scout, former NFL executive Brian brought us to the G-Bag Nation, which you can hear every single day, Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. on the flagship station of the Cowboys, 105 through the Fan. And our Cowboys legend this week, Winston-Salem State graduate, member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame, 9-year NFL veteran, all with America's team. Timmy Newsome joining us this week here at the Cowboys Club. Really appreciate you hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. What is going on with you these days as we catch up with Timmy Newsome this week?
Well, I just celebrated 32 years in the information technology business, loving every minute of it.
Congratulations.
And still going strong. So I've been very blessed to be able to do that.
So what specifically do you do in the IT field?
Mostly it's unified communications, telephone systems, and software, and security appliances that we provide as a service as well.
Well, they could have used some more of that communication on a Sunday night.
That's right.
The Cowboys could have definitely used some of that. Now, obviously, you are also a member of the Black College Football Hall of Fame. What was that experience like, being inducted as a member of such a prestigious group with all the history, of course, that comes with HBCU football?
Well, you know, I'm in there with Nate Newton. Jerry Rice is in there. Walter Payton is in there. A lot of other guys. So it was a humbling experience to be able to be inducted a few years ago, and it's like a dream come true, and it's a national honor. And so that in and of itself was very nice and wonderful to be able to witness that and have my family and friends there to be a part of it.
What was your favorite part of the experience?
I think having my head college football coach, Bill Hayes, also was inducted a few years earlier. Having him a part of that, he was a rookie head coach my freshman year at Winston-Salem State University, and to see us be a part of something that unique is very special. Do you know who one of your more famous alumni is these days? For Winston-Salem State University?
Happens to be on TV all the time.
He's a guy that doesn't like the Cowboys. I know that. Stephen A. Smith.
That's right, Stephen A. Smith. Stay talking all kinds of noise
about
America's team for sure. Nate, I want to ask you about your Black College Football Hall of Fame experience. What was that like for you becoming
Humbling, man. Because I watched these guys growing up. You know, I watched it because FAMU and Bethune-Cookman played always in back then the Tangerine Bowl, now known as the Citrus Bowl. So that was very, very humbling, man. And I tell people, to me, Timmy and all of these guys, and when we go back to the different functions and events, I'm like, wow, this is real, man. Robert Brazil, guys like that, Doug, man, wow. Shaq Harris, man. It's humbling, bro. The guys that you grew up watching, Too Tall Jones, it's humbling.
Was it East Tennessee State?
Just Tennessee State itself. The original, so Big Blue, man.
That's right.
Yeah, they got them Tinkerbells.
You know what's funny as a scout, like I always tell people, they always talk about the great players, and I say, and I was fortunate enough to work with the Packers and get to work against Walter Payton. And see him play, and then Jerry Rice, of course, and you always, people are like, well, this player came from Florida State, or he came from LSU, he came from whatever, and I'm like going, greatest player I ever saw went to school at Mississippi Valley. Greatest player I ever saw went to school at Jackson State.
Right.
I remember Steve McNair watching that tape, and it's just, it's so funny about the tape is that you see these huge plays, and then they show the band. And everybody's having a great time. I mean, it's event, like man. That's what I'm saying. And the notoriety that these schools have received here, the last several years is, and they're Hall of Fame. You just go in the hall. It's like the who's who of football. In that Hall of Fame. I mean, you could walk and look at the pictures along the way, and going, gosh, yes. As a scout, a former scout, you're trying to evaluate, like, no, he's better. No, wait, he's better than, no. And it's just an amazing experience to see, to go to those schools and the pride. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a real quick story, if I can. I go visit Grambling, okay? And my report was Grambling played on a practice field that had some rocks and things all over, and they're practicing. Met Coach Robinson, they're practicing with rocks and stuff all over the field. And I wrote in my report, I go, these are the toughest kids I've ever scouted in my life.
Yeah.
They're falling on rocks and they're banging around. But it was such a great experience for me to go see these legendary schools and meet legendary coaches.
Yeah, the history of the National Football League cannot be told without the storied players that have come from historically black colleges and universities. And we've got two here on our set today, members of the Black College Football Hall of Fame with Timmy Newsome and Nate. And so glad that you're able to join us this week and be able to share some of that with us here. Before we get out of here, it's time for predictions going into Monday night. Now, here's the thing, Brian. I know what Nate's going to tell me. He's going to tell me that the Cowboys win.
Win by one.
He's always by one. That's right. By 1 or by 100, he's going to pick the Cowboys to win. But I always ask Nate, and I'm going to start real quick with him. Got 2 minutes left. How did the Cowboys beat the Chargers on Monday Night Football?
Just come out and with the intensity. You know, I call it force. Come out with force, do alignment assignment, and just execute. Execute your job. And Dak, be a football player first.
Yeah.
That's how they win.
That's how they win.
That's how they win. We got the cure, and it's called the Chargers.
Send me how the Cowboys get a win on Monday Night Football and bounce back.
You know, I hope they eliminate the turnovers and minimize the penalties. I mean, it's killing them when they lost those two games. They've got to be able to do that.
If they can do that, they should be able to at least be much more competitive against this Chargers team. How does how do the Cowboys beat Kellen Moore in what is a semi-revenge game, if you will, with Kellen Moore being on the other side?
Yeah, you've got to be ready for the Chargers. They're going to play their front. They're going to try and move guys around. They're going to twist. They're going to loop. They're all kinds of things. They're going to try and wreck your blocking schemes in this game.
Sure.
And they're going to do it. Maybe no Joey Bosa in this game. He's dealing with a toe and a hamstring. But Khalil Mack is a pain in the rear to deal with. He had 6 sacks in that Raiders game. Watch that. That'll get your attention. But get ready for a lot of movement up front. Maybe you can make some big plays. You pop a run or two, get a guy out of a gap. But it's going to be about blocking that front again. It really is.
Man, it's going to be a team. Here's what I don't want to see for the next week or week and a half as these Cowboys get ready for the Chargers is don't let what happened in San Francisco become a snowball. Are you going to emotionally pick yourself up after what happened on Sunday night, after all the anticipation that was put into Sunday night's game with the Cowboys and 49ers, a storied rivalry and everything was there? Are you able to pick yourself up and then turn things around? Because there's still 12 games left in this regular season, as you were alluding to earlier. It wasn't just about San Francisco. You still got all your goals in front of you. Can you put that behind you and go get a win on Monday Night Football? If you can, you get that good feeling back going into what should be a tough game against Los Angeles. Then you got your bye week, and then you got the chance to move on for the rest from there and figure things out.
Doesn't get any easier.
It does not get any easier. You'll see Buffalo. You'll see Miami. You'll see the Eagles twice. You still got a lot of ways to go, but the Cowboys have a chance to bounce back. Really appreciate our Cowboys legend, Timmy Newsome, for joining us live at the Cowboys Club after Star in Frisco. Really appreciate you hanging out with us this week.
Thank you, sir.
Nate, always good to see you, my guy,
sir,
man. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
CVS Pharmacy. Chargers, double shot Chargers.
He said that's just what the doctor ordered, which is a Cowboys win over the Los Angeles Chargers.
Right, bro.
Brian, appreciate you hanging out with us
man.
as well at the Cowboys. I hope you enjoyed yourself this week.
I had a great time. Thank you guys for having me.
It is Cowboys Crosstalk presented by SWBC. Cowboys take on the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday Night Football. Kevin Gray, Nate Newton, Brian Broaddus, Timmy Newsome. We'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all be good.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,